The bar at the edge of the Epsilon outpost was the kind of place where questions didn't get asked, only answered. Jonathan sat alone in the corner booth, his cybernetic hand wrapped around a glass of something that burned going down. The war had ended 3 years ago, but for veterans like him, the echoes never really stopped. The door hissed open, and every head in the bar turned dot. She had to duck to enter. 8 feet of scaled magnificence, her obsidian horns nearly scraping the reinforced ceiling. The draconian ambassador moved with a grace that belied her size, her iridescent scales catching the dim light like 1,000 tiny stars. Alexis Verthanus, daughter of the Crimson Fleet, hero of the Battle of Proxima 7. Jonathan recognized her immediately. Everyone in the galaxy did. What he didn't expect was for her to walk directly to his table. "Jonathan Reeves," she said, her voice a low rumble that vibrated through his chest. Her amber eyes fixed on him with an intensity that made him acutely aware of how small he suddenly felt. "I have been searching for you." He took another drink. "Congratulations. You found me. I have a question to ask you." She sat down across from him, or rather, folded herself into a position that approximated sitting, her tail coiling around the leg of the reinforced chair. Jonathan raised an eyebrow. "Make it quick." "I'm busy." She leaned forward, and for a moment something almost vulnerable flickered across her reptilian features. "Will you have intercourse with me?" The glass stopped halfway to Jonathan's lips. Around them, the bar had gone deathly silent. "I'm sorry, what?" "Intercourse," Alexis repeated, as clinically as if she were discussing military logistics. "Reproduction, mating. I have studied your human terminology extensively. I believe I am using the correct words." Jonathan set his glass down very carefully. "Yeah, you're using words. I'm just not sure you understand what you're asking." "I understand perfectly." Her tail twitched with what might have been irritation. "My people have studied humanity for decades. Since the war, we have come to respect your species, your adaptability, your resilience, your stubborn refusal to surrender even when victory seems impossible." She paused. "These are traits my people value above all others." "That's great," Jonathan said slowly, "but I still don't see what that has to do with I am the last of my bloodline." Alexis interrupted, and suddenly her voice carried a weight that had nothing to do with her physical size. "The Verthanus clan traced its ancestry back 14,000 years. We were warriors, diplomats, explorers. My brothers died at Proxima. My sisters perished during the siege of Andromeda Station. I alone survived." Jonathan's expression softened slightly. He knew something about being the last one standing. "My people's genetics are rigid," she continued. "Draconian reproduction requires biological compatibility. For centuries, we have been breeding with only our own kind, and our genetic diversity has suffered. We grow weaker with each generation. But human DNA," she gestured at him with one clawed hand. "Human DNA is chaos. It adapts, mutates, overcomes. Your species conquered a galaxy in 3 centuries that it took mine 10,000 years to explore. So you want to breed hybrid vigor into your bloodline," Jonathan said. "And you chose me because you saved my life." The words hung in the air between them. Jonathan's jaw tightened. "Proxima 7, the civilian transport. You diverted 3 Alliance warships to provide cover for our evacuation," Alexis said quietly. "Your commanders ordered you to abandon us. You disobeyed. 8,000 draconian civilians survived because of your choice." "I survived because of your choice. I did what anyone would do." "No." Her eyes blazed. "You did what a human would do. What a good human would do. And that is precisely why I want you to be the father of my children." Jonathan stared at her for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed a short, bitter sound. "You have any idea how insane this is? We're not even the same species. We are genetically compatible. Our medical teams have confirmed it. Draconian and human DNA can merge successfully. The offspring would be—" "I don't mean biologically," Jonathan interrupted. "I mean, hell, I don't even know what I mean." He ran his good hand through his graying hair. "You can't just walk up to someone and ask them to be a father like you're ordering coffee. Among my people, directness is valued." Alexis tilted her head. "Have I offended you with my approach?" "Offended? No. Confused the hell out of me." "Absolutely." For the first time, something that might have been uncertainty crossed Alexis's features. "I apologize. I have studied human courtship rituals, but I admit I do not fully understand them. The subterfuge, the indirect communication, the ... games. They seem inefficient." Despite everything, Jonathan felt a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "Yeah, well, we humans are nothing if not inefficient." Alexis's tail drooped slightly. "Then you refuse." "I didn't say that." Jonathan leaned back in his seat, studying her. I'm saying you're asking the wrong question. You don't want intercourse. You want a partner, someone to build something with, someone who'll stand beside you when everything goes to hell. He met her eyes. That's not a transaction. That's not a business arrangement. That's ... double quotes what? Her voice was barely above a whisper. That's something worth doing, right? For a long moment, they simply looked at each other. Then Jonathan stood up, tossed some credits on the table, and extended his hand. Jonathan Reeves. I'm a washed-up veteran with more trauma than sense and a drinking problem I'm working on. I like old earth music, terrible food, and I have nightmares about 3 times a week. If we're going to do this, and I'm not saying we are, but if we are, we're going to do it like actual people. We'll talk, get to know each other, figure out if we can stand being in the same room for more than 10 minutes. Alexis stared at his outstretched hand. Then, carefully, she reached out and enfolded it in her own massive palm. Alexis Fathanas. I am the last of my clan. I take my duty to my people perhaps too seriously. And I have been told I am what is the phrase, emotionally constipated. Her eyes glimmered with something that might have been hope. I accept your terms, Jonathan Reeves. As they walked out of the bar together, the scarred human veteran and the giant dragon woman, the other patrons could only stare. Somewhere in the cosmos, humanity's legend grew a little stranger, a little more beautiful, and a lot more complicated. But then again, that was humans for you.